Weeks had passed by since the return of the priest from the draconic citadel, and he had been absorbing all that he could about their discoveries. The fact this had even worked was surprising to him, but the wealth of knowledge gleaned was itself immeasurable. He now knew how they moved their floating refuge from place to place, and also what served as their guide in steering along the lines of force. But now he knew two things he had never even considered before now. Firstly, there was a piece of something purely of the prime, possibly from the first prime. As Damon's had the source, it seemed the primes too had their own. And if the power difference was as vast as the ones between demons, overlords, daemons, and the first, leading eventually to the source itself, then this chunk of prime would truly be impossibly powerful. The mere fact they possessed such must mean they had traversed there to get it, or had obtained it from another who could. Either way, it was a feat indeed, and this object could aid him in ways he had not even fathomed before. It was something else he now craved, and decided he needed to have in his grasp. Secondly, possibly more importantly, they had a library, a record of some kind, that to his knowledge surpassed even that which he had seen in the place of the lights. They had knowledge that even the gods, or more specifically most gods, knew nothing of. This had to be his primary goal, even if it meant potentially losing him this prime. It was the ultimate prize now he knew of such. With it, he could perhaps even find his way to the originator prime, and then the piece here would not matter, as he could take as much as he wanted. He could make his own true prime, forged by his own magics. He would be unstoppable, and chrylsis, he would be unable to stand against him, as he would truly have a host of the prime, and the ability to make more of his own primes. Wait, this was a delusion, not a reality. Not yet. For weeks more he played with the possibilities, thinking on what could be done, before the reality that it was not yet his hit home hard. He needed a plan, and one that would work first time, as he doubted he would ever be given the opportunity for a second attempt. Yet, so far, his presence was unknown, so the possibility was at least there, and the element of surprise his also. The citadel needed to be grounded, the dragons removed, and the library bent to his will. But how? While he schemed, the priests of Sharn had not been idle. In fact, the knowledge of the citadel had already been spread to more than just their prime, as some of their numbers had taken the knowledge to the linked temples of their own, so that Sharn would know of it across many lands. Perhaps someone would have a way to make it a possibility, the dream of floating temples being thrown around as a potential reality someday. Many began working upon this idea, but without the true prime they could see no way to make it so. At least not without the enslaving of millions to act as a power source, which was something they were not prepared to do. Even if they did so, they doubted they would have the power for more than a few minutes before it would burn the victims out and snuff out their souls. This was not an option. Well, not for them. But he was not so concerned about such inconveniences. It was a way, but it would be too difficult to maintain, and he would run out of souls before anything worthwhile could be accomplished. Still, it was another idea for his arsenal. Unfortunately, such knowledge was not kept purely within their vaults, or the minds of those who spoke it. It was dutifully recorded, and would too become shared in time with other primes. Eventually such became known, in addition to the old knowledge of the draconic citadel, by an arcane sorcerer of great power, and they in fact had the power to make it a possibility. as well as the means. Dav Shor would one day, many thousands of years from the discovery by the priesthood of Shan, make such a reality, and bring about their tyrannical rule to another prime, and with his other grand magics, occasionally to others. But that would be in another time, for another tale. But the fact the Shan priesthood had made this so would be the beginning of the slow rot of their kind, and the seeding of distrust of their number in the denizens of the realms. All would be lost, for the sorcerer held sway as many of their number were in fact agents of theirs, hidden from outside knowledge, and waited for their master's call as they spread slowly through the temples. The Nameless One too lay hidden from all, and agents of this sorcerer within the Shanite religion would one day be known to him, and another avenue of power would become his.